up. Any concerns you want to bring up with her about the way that things have been running, as far as like, are we talking campus, student life and leadership?
Both. Any
Both.
issues that the club may have.
What about parking passes?
Parking passes. What about parking passes?
Can we get them for our guest speakers?
It's possible. We do have parking tolls. You just have to pay a certain amount for a certain amount of time to be here on the campus. So parking is something that we're working on right now to get more parking for the students, because we know the struggle of coming here,
It's nothing like that.
finding parking can be difficult.
Well, just like if we have a guest speaker and they want to park in guest parking, we can get a voucher for them so they can park free.
I will look into those to see if we can do that. I know that we have the meters and they can pay a certain amount and it can be waived if they take it to the parking services.
Gabby kind of looked into this for us, and so basically either we can have auxiliary go and get it for us. We can just go in there and say, hey, this is what I need, and they'll hand it to
Yeah.
us, and if they don't, we just go get Joan. Or the other option is to have Kathy or Arlene go and get it. So, just kind of, which way is better?
I'm also going to write my email on the board if that's okay.
Sure, you want to, you can just type it in here, probably easier.
Yeah, it's MELIESOBHANIAN@yahoo.com. And if you guys have any concerns and further issues, just let me know, and I will look into what I can do to solve them.
I know when I went to ICA not this last time, but the time before, when they started doing the comments box thing that they have going on. So I know that there were a couple people that put stuff in, and they told us, hey, we're gonna talk about this next time when you guys come in. So they tell us things like that, like, we are going to talk about the comments box, but then they didn't talk about it, except for like, I raised my hand and was like, hey, you're closing, and you guys said you're gonna talk about this, and then you never did. And I'm like, well, we got some comments, but then, like, some of the comments that I know were in the box, they didn't even go over. And one of the issues is like, now we finally have Gabby, who's great, but it's been like, all last semester, we did not have a liaison at all. We had 2 different ones, and we had one that was like, well, here's all the information, I know you guys know what you're doing, and then the other person who didn't show up at all, which finally ended up quitting. So, I mean, we've had a problem with that in the past. I've noticed that.
So is that specifically for the club or?
Yeah,
just-
club league.
Okay.
But Gabby, I just want to say, Gabby is wonderful. She comes, she emails, she's like the greatest liaison I've ever seen. So I just want to put that out, just so you know.
Thank you.
The other issues
And as far
were.
as, sorry to interrupt,
Oh, no.
advertising, do a lot of students who are majoring in sciences know that we do have a pre-med club, or is number of members a concern?
Our members are the same as Presona, and I think we're just as well known as them. It's just
Participation.
Participation around all, they just are like, I don't wanna, you consecutively have the same people that show up.
So we don't have the issue of, not like, we're not hidden, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, we have
everyone knows that
posters
there's
up,
a
we
pre-med
do the
club.
ticker, we've done,
Okay.
It's just getting them to participate.
Yeah.
when we do it, but yeah, we always have the same people, it's like the same 5 people that come to meetings. You always have a bunch of people say, I'm gonna come, and then they don't. That's just how the nature of meetings are. I have like 5 other things, so I'm trying to think. So, okay, then I found out, so they did the fundraiser food drive thing last semester, and it was like, whoever brings in the most, we're gonna give them this money. So they're telling us one thing, this, if you do A, we're gonna give you B. Instead, it's, we got this, well, you did A, but we didn't specify to you how much we specifically set for A that had a B. So instead, we're gonna do C, and you're not getting the money, we're donating it to somebody else, which I heard from another, I don't think it's a Student Life and Leadership Senate, I'm not
Is
sure what they
that
are.
for the hunger awareness?
Yeah, it's like
for the
getting so many
homeless?
cans, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you didn't get enough, but then so we're like, oh, we're gonna donate it, which is fine. I mean,
That's-
donate
that's
is a
fine.
good thing, but they
Yeah.
didn't say you have to have this many cans. We're just like, oh, you did this, but we
We thought we could've
decided
done
without
more.
your input
Was that
and
this
without telling you
semester?
first that we're just not gonna give you the
Because
money.
And what was this for?
Did that happen this semester
Yeah.
also?
What was
Yeah,
this called?
it happened in
What was this
November.
event called?
It was like the last week of November where they did the homeless.
It was for like the
and
food
hunger
pantry.
awareness.
Oh, okay, so it was the.
So it's
Yeah.
basically like, hey, if you guys bring in cans, whichever club brings in the most cans.
And they were gonna give you like $100 or something.
$100 to the club that brings in
Yeah.
the most cans.
And they didn't donate
And
it.
instead,
And they
they
said
said,
that-
well, you guys brought in cans, but you bring enough cans that we thought it should warrant us giving you money. We were
And there wasn't,
disappointed in it, so instead we're giving a certificate to these people. Which I have no problem with that. I mean, that sounds really bad because I'm saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have given money
No,
to
of course,
people.
the club needs the
But
money
I
as
just feel
well.
like if you say one thing,
Yeah.
you need to follow up and do the thing you
Because
say.
the club's expecting it. They didn't
Yeah.
say you have to
And
bring in
from
100
what I
cans.
heard, the club, the people
No.
that they were gonna donate this money to found out about that, and from what I heard, they would not accept the money, which that's never been mentioned in ICA. So that's something that should be mentioned, like, hey, we tried to offer them the money and they didn't take it. Or maybe instead that they should say, hey, every club, we need for you to decide, you know, what's gonna be the set amount of minimum for people to even enter to this
Just
race. Or-
Specific like criteria.
yeah, like
basically.
that really bothers me, and that's not the first time that that's happened. There's nowhere in the manual does it say, for instance, that you need to have so many club participants go and participate or anything like that. And I've been told, oh, well, you didn't have enough participants come to this event, so we're not giving you club collaboration funds.
And pre-med was the club that raised the most cans, right?
No, we didn't.
Did-
It was-
We were gonna do it, and then we just like,
Yeah.
we just gave it.
It was the other
yeah.
clubs that were involved and we were
mean,
just
it's just
frustrated
kinda like-
about it.
I just have that thing of like, if you tell me you're gonna, if A equals B,
Yeah,
then A equals B. It doesn't go A equals B, but instead now we're gonna do C. That doesn't compute in my head, right?
They just need to like do what they
yeah,
say
I will
kind of
definitely
thing.
mention that in the meeting and
Yeah,
see what we can do
I'm
to
trying to
get that
think.
fixed. Do you know who was in charge?
Becca talked about it at
Becca?
ICA.
I think it was Becca and Joan.
Becca
Yeah.
and Jen?
Yeah, and that kind of seems to be a thing that I've noticed with the student life and leadership is they say, hey, this is what we're gonna do. But then if you don't meet it up to our standards, then we're
Yeah,
gonna
they
take it
have-
away. And you can't
Yeah.
do that. You need to say, this is what the minimum standards are, and you need to think ahead and say,
They're like assuming their expectations are obvious,
Yeah.
you know, and they're not
Yeah,
making their
so they need
expectations
to be more
clear.
specific as to what they're expecting,
Yeah.
so clubs can be sure to meet those expectations. Alright.
Their battery's really low, so we need to.
that's it. If it goes off, it goes off.
Are there any other concerns?
No, those are kind of my only.
Announce your event on the 17th,
On the 17th.
18th of March,
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
she could announce.
Can we announce it in ICA?
Oh, I'll announce it, cause I have to, and that's another thing too, like all of a sudden now the president has to go to ICA. And it's like, I can't be everywhere. They keep expecting me to go places. I have designed an officer position so somebody can actually be an officer and gain leadership experience.
Right,
And now they're telling me, well, that's crap. You need to be the one that's there. And
the
I'm like,
president
well,
has to be there.
I can't be everywhere.
Yeah, cause I was designated to go like
What
all
about
last
the
semester.
VP?
My VP's not even present this semester.
But we had someone specifically, they're like, yes, I can go to every single ICA meeting.
I think
And they
clubs
were
should be
going.
able to assign.
Yeah, and
Who
that's
gets
my
to
thing.
go?
I think it should,
Yeah,
that's
and-
why we have it in a assigned thing and every meeting after ICA, they do a
Right.
5-minute report on like, I went to ICA, this is what was said, I got up there and talked about this. I don't see why it has to be specifically a president if it's not somebody that's nominated by the group to represent us.
And it could be an election as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. Now I'm done bitching.
No, that's fine, that's great. Gives me something to work on, thank you.
Close at 3:10?
Close at 3:00. We ran a little late, but we started it. You can turn it off.